got AC down. Compressor's overheated. Way hot. A little cooler outside as it's getting towards dusk, getting dark outside. Gone ahead and pulled the disconnect already and discharged the cap. Got a little 35.5 here. Guessing the fuse blew the fuses. I'm also kind of guessing the fan motor quit. All of our wiring seems to be intact. And looks like it's got a capacitor that needs to be secured. Dangling capacitor. Of course, we can always convert this. This has got a 35.5 cap on it, so I can run one line to the cap if it'll reach. Would be another way to do it. And then this is a 4-wire fan, so I would just cap off the brown and white wire and use the brown wire to connect to the fan port. To the fan port right here, so that's another option. But the first thing is going to be getting this compressor cooled down. Way hot. But I sort of want to prove that, oh yeah, and the fan up top is just blazing hot also, so darn it. Okay, get it going, get it cooled down. Okay, my fan motor is blazing hot here, so I'm going to put some ice on it. Now I took some criticism over a different video because I didn't take an ohm reading on the fan motor, but I got to tell you, when you got a situation like this, fan motor overheats, you're not going to have a reading. You're not going to get a connection because the thermal deal is going to disconnect the fan. But anyway, it's blazing hot here. I'm going to cool the fan down. And the most likely cause of this is the capacitor went out, as I mentioned earlier. So I have a dual cap, so I'm going to be changing it. I mean, I brought a single cap so I can replace it. And I also brought some cable straps so I can secure this better up here. Make things a bit safer here. Make things a bit better. So I went and got my supplies. Now I'm just going to re-discharge the disconnect just to make sure. And before I do that, I'm also going to get some ice and cold water in my compressor to start to cool this hot compressor off also. So here's some ice in my compressor. And I'm going to dump some cold water on there. Start to cool this puppy off. As you are probably aware, when things evaporate, they give off heat. And so pouring a little water on there and letting that evaporate, very similar to when we sweat, helps cool our body down. Anyway, up top here, we've got our capacitor discharged. Going to move the hard start kit out of the way here for the time being. And we're going to take our little fan cap. I'm just going to peel this off here. I could even leave this tape on top. I just need to be able to get to the terminals. Okay, I'm going to bridge the leads. Don't really have to. The power does cancel out through the fan, but hey, it's better safe than sorry, especially for this one. Again, the thermal switch is out, so it doesn't hurt to discharge the capacitor, but it could hurt not to. There we go. Okay, yeah, that capacitor was pretty tired there. Seeing some rust inside there. So here's our new one. And before I put our new one up there, I'm going to try to run this strap. In through a good spot here. In theory. I can see it from the other side, but I'm going to need to widen that hole up a little bit. There we go. In theory, that'll do it. There we go. Pull our strap through. And now we've got a place to mount to. So we'll take our capacitor. And we're going to mount that about right there. Pull a little more through here. There we go. Let's pre-start this here. Take our cap, and we're in perfectly there. Now this is just one option. Again, you could take the brown wire and run it to the fan port up on top of the dual port cap that's there. But this way is a little bit cheaper. This little 5 microfarad capacitor is probably $5, $4, something like that. Whereas the dual cap is maybe $16, $17. So save a little money by doing it this way. And we're just going to put one lead each side. There we go. And I can rewrap this little bit of electrical tape around for a little extra protection. It's not really necessary now that we're in there solid, but no harm in a little extra insulation there. Doesn't look very pretty, but hey, it doesn't have to look pretty, it just has to do its job there. Okay, so move those down out of the way. And now our fan cap is replaced, and again, that was just my suspicion that went out, and that's what happens sometimes. The fan capacitor goes out and then it's not starting the fan. The other thing, it was arcing against the back side here, or at least the electrical tape was melting there. So now I'm going to put some more cold water on the compressor. It's had a little chance to start to cool down here. Got our ice on the top. It's probably not cooled down yet. I also have a rag that I can use with the cold water if I want to. But sometimes the rag kind of blocks it from releasing the heat and letting it go. The feel up top again for our fan. Still pretty hot. Still pretty warm, but it's starting to get there. Got just a little bit of daylight left. Good old Palm Springs. Nice day. Anyway. I might just check if our fan motor kicks on or not. And unfortunately my pager's going off again. Okay. So I'm going to plug the disconnect back in, even though I think the fuses have probably gone out. But I can check it this way. The fan motor did not start up. Compressor started. Let's check this fan motor though. stuck. Solid. Okay. Darn it. Stuck bad. We got like a frozen bearing there. Let the compressor cool down for just a second. Trying to move the stupid fan here. Ah, fan is just jammed. Darn it. So I'm gonna go ahead and re-pull the disconnect. Gonna have to change that fan. Okay, I'm gonna have to check my pager here. Okay, I went in ahead and unplugged it and moved the fan motor a little bit. Without the power, it's moving okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and try plugging it in again and see what happens here. I'm also gonna kind of move these directional switches up a little bit. Okay. Let's plug it in, see what happens. Oh, darn it. We've lost our fan motor. And I'm probably going to lose my pen if I mess around with this. The disconnect and replace the fan motor. I'm going to try one more thing going with the other option, which is running pull the disconnect and discharge the cap and try running the fan wire to the fan or to the single cap. This has got a plus or minus 35.5 plus or minus 6. So we just need the solid brown wire, which is this one here, to run our fan port there. Just barely enough room here. Okay. And this one we could disconnect or cap off, or it doesn't matter, we can leave it there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up. Let's see what happens. Changed out. Okay, time to change the fan motor out. Losing daylight quickly. Since I plugged the disconnect back in, I needed to re-discharge and go ahead and disconnect my wires here. Black's going to go to the black. White to white. No big deal there. Now we're ready to take off the lid. Lid's just got a bunch of different screws here. Take it off. Looks like it had an Edison box mounted to it also. I can leave that in place. You can see probably right behind me the plate for the Edison box. The Edison box broke off and kind of hanging down there. Have to fix that or have Edison fix that. Anyway, no big deal. Now we're ready to lift the lid off, and I'll feed the wires through. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on getting the fan blades off. I need to loosen up both sides here. Loosen them up enough to clear. And we're losing daylight. Not good. I'm going to go ahead and put a pair of gloves on just to make cleaning up later a lot easier. Water too. Probably almost easier at night time. A little bit cooler. I'm going to try to keep that dust from falling down in there. This is some emery cloth. And the post up real good. And that rust off of there. If we get lucky, the blades will come off easy. That's the if part. Just going to kind of grab the shaft underneath, keep it from turning. Rotate a little bit, pull up. I don't like to use blade pullers. The reason is they can bend the blades, and then you've got a different problem. Then your fan's going to forever wobble. Stuck. Beat the whole procedure here. Put on some new blades. Okay, I'm going to add a little of my cold water theory that'll shrink this shaft down. Doesn't always work. Theories are theories. Come on, buddy. Might be easier with some vice grips, then you could 28 years. Doesn't want to come off. Tough fight.
Sometimes the new motors don't come with bolts, so you always want to bring your own bolts. Now we want to feed our wire up here, do that fan deal, and then we'll take out our old fan motor here. We're going to reuse the piece of conduit here with our new fan. Switches, ground wire. If you had to reverse the direction of the fan blade, then you can pop these two apart and switch them. And you usually kind of gotta angle these a little bit, bend these this way, and then feed it through the conduit here. So that everything can pass through. Out the front wall. And here's our lock washers I was telling you about. Tighten these up. Things alive a little bit longer. What we want to do is just kind of double check our baffle screws, make sure everything's nice and tight there. Got this one here. Line that up nice and snug. Later. And now we're going to be putting our fan blades on. Now you can see two ends of these are squared. That's where we're going to line up our bolts here, squared ends. Okay. We want to get it as close as we can, but without touching here. Get a full rotation, obviously not hitting these bolts, and we're good right here. We do want it up as far as we can, without hitting the bolts or without hitting the baffle, we can get good as well. So finger tighten those and then down tighten. Channel locks here. Snug. Don't want them coming off. Okay. Now we're ready to put our lid back on. We're going to have to feed the wires through the face here. Set it in place so the baffle's in the center, and then we're going to lift it up, feed our wires through here. Next we'll kind of pull the conduit through here. And then now it's a matter of seating our lid on properly. Okay, got it all finished off last night, but you could hardly see what I was doing. But it was enough light to just finish it off, get it going. Now I need to kind of finish up and put things back together where they belong. Got some tree trimming going on, which you probably hear in the background. Things start going. Concrete getting trimmed. Anyway, what I've got here is all the lid needs to be completely put back on. I'm probably going to pull the disconnect to go ahead and do this. Safer. Sometimes just kind of by maneuvering this screwdriver up here. We're in there. More around the back side. Pitch black last night, but was able to get this done here. Going. There we go.
fan baffle screws are nice and tight. Now the machine's been off for about 5 minutes, so I can plug it back in. That way the people don't experience the AC being down for too long. Just gonna plug the disconnect back in. See it back there. This one had an Edison box on it, but the little plastic piece broke off. Maybe I can fix that. Come back and put a washer on that. They should have installed this a little bit better. That's alright. So our air conditioning's back together. Now I'll just put the front lid back on, nice and easy. One AC. Back in business. Put a couple more screws in. Good to go. What a nice Palm Springs day. Got all my covers back on. AC's good to go.